Good. And
Oh, God.
yeah, crazy.
I smell things too.
By spring.
Good morning. I would like to welcome everybody to the Board of Directors meeting for the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. We're at the BWB Building, 201 West Third Street, Jamestown, New York. Also streaming live on YouTube. It's August the 26th at 10:30. We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Gary Henry's here. Tom Harmon.
Here.
John Healy.
Here.
Kevin Muldowney.
Here.
Dan DeMart. Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Here.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Here.
Amy Harding.
Here.
You should have already received the minutes from the July 22nd, 2025 meeting and had a chance to review those. We have a motion to accept those minutes. Thank you, Kevin. We have a second.
I'll second Gary.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes have been approved. We'd like to start off by welcoming Josiah Lamp, who's the CPAG program manager, and he's new with the team. And I think Mark has a few words he'd like to share.
Yeah, so Josiah, waved to everyone. Okay, well, Josiah, we've been looking for a program manager for the Partnership for Economic Growth for quite some time. And, sort of Nate has been carrying that load, if you will, and, been so involved in so many other things, he was spread very thin. So through a fairly long process of, interviewing folks, Josiah came to us sort of in the 11th hour, and we were thrilled because we've known Josiah for quite some time, and he's been on the housing work group committee and been participating for a while. So real quick on Josiah. First of all, he has a master's degree in urban planning from UB, so he must be good. And he has 15 years of experience in managing economic development and housing programs, most recently as the Director of Housing and Community Development at Chautauqua Opportunities, Inc., COI, a position that he's held since 2016. Previously, he served as Deputy Director of Housing and Community Development at COI, and prior to that, as Economic Development Consultant for the Community Development Training Institute, based in Worcester, Mass. Throughout his professional career, Josiah has developed strong strategic leadership and program management skills, specifically focused on strategic planning, building public-private partnerships, grant writing, and public relations. Since 2020, he's also served on the partnership, like I said, Partnerships Housing Development Work Group, bringing a level of familiarity and knowledge about CPAG to his new role. As the program manager for CPAG, Josiah will oversee and coordinate CPAG activities, including initiation, development, implementation, and monitoring of CPAG projects and programs that encourage economic development in Chautauqua County. He will also oversee grant development activities to help sustain CPAG programming, and will also coordinate a variety of economic development activities relating to business development, workforce development, placemaking, housing, and infrastructure. So welcome aboard, Josiah. You want to say anything?
Thank you, Mark, for the introduction, and I look forward to working with everybody in the partnership. If I haven't met you, I do see some friendly faces here, but if I hadn't met you, I'd be happy to have a conversation and continue to work together with all on board and for everyone.
Thank you. Everyone?
I'd also like to welcome the county executive, PJ Wendell, here with us this morning. Did you have anything you'd like to share with us?
No, always excited to be here and always looking forward to hear what we have to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move right into new business A, Chautauqua CSG 1 LLC, presented by Rosie and Millen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this project will look a little familiar. We just did due diligence for this in July. As a refresher, this is a 2.25 megawatt AC solar farm on approximately 14 acres located in the town of Poland at 1437 West 394 and West 394 Rear in Faulkner, New York. I will just let everyone know that the town is in support of this project. We wouldn't be bringing this to you if they weren't. This is a total project cost of just over 3.6 million. They're requesting a 25-year pilot on the increased assessment as well as sales tax abatement. Let's see here. The pilot will produce payments to the affected taxing jurisdiction over the life of the project in the amount of approximately $306,290 with property tax abatement totaling negative $23,904 and sales tax exemption of $148,453. The town was lead agent on this project with a negative declaration on seeker. There was a public hearing on August 5th. Questions were asked during the public hearing. Those were answered post-public hearing, so they're not in the recording, but I'd be happy to go over those if anybody has questions. I do have Henry from Hodgson Ross on the line, as well as Ty from Chautauqua CSG. They can answer any questions if there are any, but I will pass it on to Millen to present the resolutions.
Any questions before I start? And first, we will do the deviation hearing. Notice of today's meeting was sent to each of the affected tax jurisdictions by letter that's in your package dated July 24th, setting forth exactly what the proposed pilot would be. Works out to be $4,250 roughly per megawatt AC. And that's sort of within the range of what we've done for the prior X number of solar matters. So with the public hearing, we've not received any written communication from any of the affected tax jurisdictions. And if there's any representative of any affected tax jurisdictions here or on Zoom who'd like to make a comment, please do so. Hearing none, we'll close the hearing. The two resolutions before you are a deviation resolution approving the deviation that we just held the public hearing for, and the final approving resolution. You'll notice that there is no separate seeker resolution because the town, by letter dated December 17th, the town of Poland decided to act as lead agency. So they passed their own seeker resolution, concluding and issuing a negative declaration that there was no significant adverse effect on the environment. And since they were lead agency, their determination is binding on all of you. As you know, sometimes we act as lead agency, sometimes the town does, just depending on which town and which project. So those are the two resolutions, a deviation resolution and a final approving resolution. For the final approving resolution, we've now done a financial analysis. We held a public hearing. We've looked at SECRA and think that there aren't any legal barriers to closing the transaction.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Tom, can you move new business A2 for us?
Sure will. Resolution 08-26-25-01, Chautauqua CSG1 LLC deviation approval resolution, and 08-26-25-0 Chautauqua CSG1 LLC approving resolution.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dan. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Tom Harmon.
Aye.
John Healy.
Aye.
Kevin Muldowney.
Aye.
Dan DeMart.
Aye.
Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
And the resolution is unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Ty.
Thank you all.
Next, we'll move into new business B, Main Road Media Group LLC, presented by Christine and Millen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, we are presenting a tax lease pilot due diligence resolution and preliminary agreement for Main Road Med Group LLC project, which is the redevelopment of the former Lakeshore Hospital site in Irving. Joining us today on the project team are Matteo Rengifo. Oh, we lost Matteo, I think.
All right, there. Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I guess he's on video. Thank you, Matteo. And also Nick DiTomaso, who is also on video with us, and Ray Manning, who's to my right here. So, Main Road Med Group has recently acquired the property from Brooks LC and has decided to lease the facility as a medical office building to New York Med Center. So Matteo Rengifo is with Main Road Med Group, Nick DiTomaso and Ray Manning are with New York Med Center. The project includes a redevelopment and the adaptive reuse of the 173,000 square foot facility on 32.9 acres into healthcare services space, including behavioral health and addiction recovery services, as well as other medical offices and commercial retail space. The total project cost is $42,199,744. The application requests real property sales tax and mortgage recording tax abatements. CCIDA has met with and had conversations with the town of Hanover throughout the application process. The town supports this redevelopment and CCIDA's assistance with this project. And we are anticipating that this would be an adaptive reuse project, not a deviation. A market analysis was provided by the client and was included in your meeting materials along with the application, describing the need for the services and the trends. I'd like to pass it over to Ray Manning now of New York Med Center and also, of course, Main Road Med Group from the project team to speak about the lack of these services available, the scope of the project, and I'll also ask you to comment regarding any future tenants and job projections.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us today.
Morning.
My name is Ray Manning. I'm the CEO for New York Medical Center. I was brought on board by Nick DiTomaso, who's our principal manager for New York Medical Center, the operating company. We are looking to bring up to 180 bed of behavioral health and substance use disorder treatment to Chautauqua County. Obviously, there's a huge need in the northern part of the county. It's a 45-hour drive, depending on weather, to get down to the south side to get, inpatient care. And then another 45 minutes to, Erie County for inpatient care. So we're dead in the center of the hub of Western New York, really. So we're looking at developing our 173,000 square foot space on our 32 acres into a behavioral health destination center for Western New York.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Jeanette, would you be able to pull up the PowerPoint presentation?
Rosie, can I share the screen?
Yep.
It's not giving me that option.
Share is to your left. It's highlighted in green.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went to the wrong share. Okay. Here we go. Thank you, Rosie.
Okay, and so we'd be on actually, if you could go ahead and go to the next slide.
Yep.
And we'll show the
Sure.
rendering.
Yeah, so this is kind of a rough draft rendering of what we plan on doing to potentially the main entrance of the facility. Right now, there is a kind of a canopy over the circle driveway, but we're looking to modernize that entry to make it more aesthetically pleasing and more modern and welcoming. Next slide.
Or not Rosie, Jeanette. Sorry.
As we kind of went over, we're looking to do up to 180 beds of our behavioral health and addiction recovery. We are a large piece of property within the Chautauqua County district with 32.9 acres total. Most of that is the building itself and the property. There's also some undeveloped area that we will look at in the future for developing. We are using EB5 funds for investment for the project. Next slide. So here's kind of breakdown of what our market need really was for behavioral health services. We had 105. My glasses are not reaching that far. 105,000 drug overdose deaths in 12 months ending, in 2023. So obviously it is a rising issue within the county and within the nation in general. It is, a epidemic of great proportions nationwide for the United States. We have 50 million Americans who experience mental illness, and only 45% of those actually receive treatment. And a lot of that is due to not enough resources to actually get that treatment. So that's what we're looking to help curb for Western New York. After COVID-19, of course, that worsened. Everybody was locked in. They couldn't get the treatment they needed. So a lot of people had a lot of increased issues, and it's just been ongoing since, even though COVID has subsided for the most part, it's still an ongoing issue. Next slide. For our project, we're looking at doing detoxification, residential treatment, and those are for our substance use disorder treatment areas. We're going to do inpatient behavioral health, which includes geri psych, adult psych, adolescent psych, and pediatric psych. We're also going to be looking at outpatient therapy programs for chemical dependency and behavioral health. And we're going to focus on some holistic therapies, mindfulness, art. We're going to bring a lot of not conventional treatments to pair with our conventional treatments. We also will be looking at bringing ECT therapy to Northern Chautauqua County.
I'm sorry, what is ECT therapy?
Electroconvulsive therapy.
Thank you for asking.
It helps with treating for depression. People who are severely depressed, it significantly helps with treating that.
Thank you.
Yep. Next slide. So we've assembled a project team. This is kind of our executive team for the project. We have Nick, who is our principal. We have Dr. Abbasi, who has a long history with Chautauqua County and providing psychiatric services within the county. He used to work at Lakeshore Hospital, as did all of us on this project team. So we are very impassioned about bringing this back. We have Wendy Luce, who is our program director and consultant as a licensed social worker working with us. Chuck Villafranca, who's been with the facility for 20 plus years, maintaining it. So he's very well abreast of all the issues that may be going on with the facility. Dawn Turk, who's been our senior director of financial services. She's been working with Tri-County, Lakeshore Hospital, Brooks Memorial. So she's had a long, successful history of working in finance. We're also supported by our architects, who will be using CPL as our architects for the project. So for our facility layout, this was primarily a medical facility, as we all know, at Lakeshore Hospital to be. So we're looking at this as a two-phase project. Our first phase, we're looking at all of the inpatient areas. So that will be the first floor, which will have our 40 adult, 40 geriatric, and 30 adolescent psychiatric units. Our second floor will have our 20-bed pediatric psych unit, which used to be the old adult psychiatric unit. So we will be repurposing that to pediatric space. And then we have our 20-bed women and child substance use intensive residential on that floor as well. And then our third floor is our 28-day program for our substance use disorder treatment for detox. And then our phase two for the project, looking at the old outpatient spaces, which were the old radiology, the old lab space, the old emergency department space, for redeveloping those into potential services.
And just for clarification, the application that we're presenting at this time is for the phase one project. That would be a future application for the phase two project.
Okay. So as you can see, there's an overall first floor layout. There is some leased floor space in that. And that is kind of our phase 2 area that we're looking at as far as the outpatient ER, lab rad. That'll either be opened underneath our umbrella or potentially bring in other entities to run those departments. We are also looking at other organizations who are interested in leasing some space on the property, like SUNY Fredonia Credit Union, who used to have an office on our campus before as Lakeshore Hospital. They're looking at coming back to be on our campus again. So we're also talking with other organizations, like the Rome Project, who are looking for office space for kind of behavioral health programs that will actually supplement ours, provide another level of care.
And those are potential.
Those are
tenants?
potential tenants, yep. Nothing's been signed at this time yet. So you can see on the first floor, we have the old 40-bed long-term care, which is now the adult psych. I know these are kind of small from afar. You got your geriatric psych and your adolescent psych. We also have our ECT therapy on the first floor near the main entrance. On the second floor, you can see in yellow there, the residential women and child, and then the pediatric unit. And then the third floor is the smaller floor in the middle. And that's the 28-day program. Next slide. The next slides are just kind of a bigger view of what those units will look like with some renderings by CPL for what we're potentially looking to do. We're not looking to be a sterile clinical space. We're looking to be more homey feeling and holistic. So we want it to be more welcoming. And that just enhances our treatment. Same thing with our geriatric psych unit for 40 beds. Go ahead. So we have up to 30 bed for adolescent psych. We're talking with the county as far as what the needs are and really the potential for creating more private rooms for our pediatric and adolescent units versus semi-private. Same thing here with our pediatric, which was the old adult space. We're looking at up to 20 beds of pediatric. This would be the third floor program. Current layout needs no renovations as far as construction goes. It was previously renovated before Lakeshore closed in an operational program. So it just needs cosmetic updates. Same thing with our second floor, that space due to flooding in the past from a sprinkler. It had been renovated, but not in use prior to closing. So it was renovated for the purpose of actually this residential type program. So we're just going to bring that back. And as we've kind of discussed, the total project cost, we're looking at up to $42 million. Creating 400 jobs, 121 construction, and 300 plus of operations.
Are there any questions for Ray at this time? I do have more to present, but I just thought I would ask now.
Are the jobs numbers phase 1 or total project, both phases?
So the jobs created as far as the overall, that's kind of both phases. We are looking at the lab and the rad, trying to do that underneath our own umbrella and not rent that out. So we did include that in there. The ER we did leave off as far as number wise, just because we're not sure if we're going to open that underneath our umbrella or if it will be somebody else coming in to rent that space.
Got it. Thanks.
Maybe speak to a time frame for the job creation.
Sure. So it's kind of going to be a rolling creation over the next 3 years, the time span of the project. Because there is such a large staffing need to staff these units, there's no way to do a big bang explosion of get everything done and open everything all at once. So we're looking at, as we finish each unit, then we will open those units and staff them accordingly. So the bulk of our, inpatient job creation will be within the first 2 years.
Got it.
Any other questions for Ray before I proceed? Okay, I'm going to pass around some letters of support and we'll provide copies of these to you. But I just wanted to mention very quickly, I have just 2 more minutes. We've received letters of support from Chautauqua County that were co-signed by County Executive PJ Wendell, Chief Medical Officer Michael Falk, Director of the Department of Mental Health and Social Services Carmelo Hernandez, Deputy Director of the Department of Mental Hygiene Patricia McLennan. Also from Chautauqua County Sheriff James Quattrone, Chautauqua County Chamber President Daniel Heizenreiter, former Chautauqua County Executive and current New York State Senator George Borrello, New York State Assemblyman Andrew Molitor, Seneca Nation of Indians via the Erie County Department of Mental Health, the Town of Hanover, and the Village of Silver Creek. Described in one letter as the most pressing public health challenge of our time, some of the issues and needs referenced include growing inpatient behavioral health needs with demand far exceeding capacity, limited access to critical services within a reasonable traveling distance, significant barriers to care, lack of inpatient beds, especially in northern Chautauqua County, and restoring mental health services that were lost when Lakeshore Hospital closed. Ray, could you mention your construction timeline?
Yeah. So we're looking at finalizing our architectural plans, hopefully within this next couple months, and bidding that out. So our goal is to really start our construction probably by our main construction, I should say, for the inpatient units by January. And that's probably being a little aggressive, but there are projects that need to be done or even that, as far as replacement of roof, water treatment, disinfection, all kinds of other things for the building in itself that will be going forward here in the next couple of months.
Like fourth quarter.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to ask, Mark.
Just real quick, when are you planning on coming back for an approving resolution? When, is that in the next couple of months?
You want me to answer this?
Yeah.
As soon as possible,
Yeah,
right? So
as soon
that
as
you
possible.
can close with us
Correct.
and begin the kind of the immediate, like the roof and some of those other things before the main construction can begin. So as soon as possible, we need to conclude our process, which I'm sure Millen can describe.
Yep. Okay.
And I was about to ask Millen if you could please review the resolution and the preliminary agreement.
This is a due diligence resolution. If the board is interested in pursuing this project, staff and council would start the typical due diligence. This project is a little bit different. It is a medical office building as opposed to a medical facility. So our contractual partner will be Main Road Med Group. Ray represents the principal tenant, if you will. So the benefits that we would be given to Main Road Med, who has a long-term lease with New York Medical. And presumably they would pass through some, most, or probably all of the benefits that we do. So part of the due diligence is going to be, besides SECRA and holding a public hearing, it would be coordinating, if you will, those two parts to make sure that our benefits get to the operator, New York Med Center. And obviously, this is still sort of evolving in terms of the finances, and it's very difficult to pull all these sources together. So again, this is just a due diligence resolution authorizing us to look further into it. I think, as Christine mentioned, we do not anticipate a deviation. So this would be an adaptive reuse pilot. But again, we'll work on that during the due diligence period if you approve and authorize us to go forward.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Just a comment, couple months ago, I think, when Nick, who's on the call, was in town, had reached out to the chamber to get together and kind of talk about the project and their, goal to be involved in the community, bring these services back and things, which I really appreciated. So, appreciated the communication and happy to due diligence resolution. Thank you. And Healy, can you move new business V1 for us?
Yes, resolution 08-26-25-03, Main Road Med Group LLC due diligence resolution and preliminary agreement.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I can second.
Thank you, Tom. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Gary Henry votes aye. Tom Harmon.
Aye.
John Healy. Kevin Muldowney.
Aye.
Dan Demart.
Aye.
Megan Sheffield Smith.
Aye.
Dan Hetzenrader.
Aye.
Amy Harding.
Aye.
And the preliminary agreement has been unanimously approved. So certainly excited to be a part of this project. We all realize the need in our area. Thank you for being here and giving us such a detailed report today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much.
Next, we'll move into the executive director's report.
I'm going to do my best Chris Berman, okay? All right, here we go. First of all, welcome back, Jeanette. Jeanette. You hadn't had a vacation in 6-7 years?
Yeah, about a little bit, a little more than that.
She went
8
to
years.
Italy for 3 weeks and got
Yeah.
to see family and everything, and we all missed her a lot, and glad you're back.
Thank you, glad to be back.
Appreciate everything you do, so
Thank you so
welcome
much.
back. Just a quick Ripley Industrial Park, Mason Industrial Park update. They're basically on schedule. We did have a number of challenges, including we had to do a NEPA review for Mason. A NEPA is basically the seeker, but at the federal level, because we got the two ARC grants, which precipitated us having to do a NEPA. So that was a big lift, but we're basically at the end of that, feeling pretty good about that. Right now, Clark Patterson Lee is doing all the engineering for the road, the water, the sewer, the drainage, communications, electric, et cetera, et cetera. What they're going to do with that is then create a request for proposals that would be released by the fourth quarter of this year. And we would hire the consultants to actually do the work and begin the work in the spring. Just to remind you, this is a $17.5 million project. We have most of the financing, most of the funding. We did resubmit an EDA, Economic Development Administration grant, last week for $3.25 million. We're keeping our fingers crossed. We don't get that money, we can scale back the project in terms of the length of the road, water, sewer, electric. So we do, and in fact, Clark Patterson Lee will likely, if we don't get that money, they're going to create 2 separate RFPs, if you will, or one with an addendum, one with a long road, water, sewer, electric, and one with a shorter one, based on how much money we have. So, that's moving along well. National Grid is doing the engineering for the extension of 32.5 kV up to the site. It's 1.5 miles. They can't really go any further at this point until the final design for the road is laid out. So they got it all the way up to sort of the site. And then when they get those final drawings, et cetera, then they'll lay out where the electric's going to run along that roadway and where it's going to terminate. So that's moving along. So that's sort of for Ripley. Mason, the engineering is progressing well. I mean, there's really been no hiccups. I likely see that us being able to do the RFPs sooner than we are for Ripley. It's a much less complicated project. Just to remind you, that was a $680,000 project, I believe, off the top of my head. But that's going well. So nothing to worry about there. We visited SKF and Titan X, the county executive, Congressman Langworthy and his staff. SKF and Titan X are Swedish-owned companies. The Swedish ambassador was in town. You might have saw some things about that. It was great. And they're both going gangbusters, wouldn't you say, PJ? SKF makes bearings. They have a new line of ceramic bearings that are doing this, which is good. Titan X makes radiators for commercial over-the-road trucks. And I can't remember what it was. They said something like 80% of all the trucks that are manufactured domestically have Titan X radiators in them. And it's a really impressive operation. So it's always great to go and see what's going on around. And, reestablishing those relationships and asking them about, what's going on, how they doing, and they're both doing really well.
If I could.
Yeah, please.
Also, one of the interesting things is obviously both are expanding their operations, et cetera. But on a more positive note, speaking with Titan X, there was a lot of stamping and different things that they had outsourced to Mexico. They are now bringing back to the Jamestown plant. So they are expanding and bringing more of the jobs that they outsourced, they're bringing back to the US plant, especially here at Jamestown. So really exciting to see, the turn that it's not just, we're increasing technology, thus efficiency, more robotics, et cetera, but they're actually bringing more skilled labor back. Again, a partnership, we've talked before with JCC and how we prepare ourselves for those positions in the future, which we have established, and we're going to continue. Speaking with SKF, they have, and I talked to President Tamart after, they have designs for a curriculum that would suit SKF employees. So again, they said we'll make those connections with SKF and JCC to, make sure that, the needs are met for a workforce. So the workforce piece has been big, but also, jobs are coming back to the area. So it's really exciting news to hear that, as we're walking through.
And I know they also visited JCC, right? And met with your workforce development folks, and that went well. Yep.
Conversation.
Yep.
Trying to reestablish our exchange program. Sweet.
Excellent. And in both cases, SKF and Titan X, they're sort of like Cummins, where they're not putting a big expansion onto their buildings. They're doing it all internally, but it's big investments in equipment. It's big investment in labor, et cetera. So more good things to come there. So that was great. We are requesting funding through the county to assist us with more capital projects funding for Ripley. And I'm crossing my fingers on that. We presented at the Western New York Regional Economic Development Council meeting that was held last week at the National Comedy Center. And with the city of Jamestown, us and others, it went really well. Journey talked about the National Comedy Center, and it was, I think they left being very impressed with what's going on, not only in Jamestown, but in the county in general. So that was a great opportunity. I just wanted to give you a heads up that it's very likely, or it's likely, or it could happen that we might need to have a special meeting with Maple Vale. And we're sort of planning on September 11th at 10 a.m. I think Jeanette put a hold on everyone's calendars. That's when the seeker review will be completed, and we'll be taking action, we hope. So
The 30-day period
yes,
for any involved agencies to object to the IDA being lead agency expires on that date. So assuming no one objects, then the IDA can assert lead agency status and pass secret. And that's necessary for Maple Vale then to go on and get planning board approval literally later that day.
Yep. So it's sort of, we wouldn't do this to you unless we had to, but we hope that we can get a quorum here and that we can get that done if we need to, but we'll keep you informed. I wanted to let you know, I had a meeting with a developer, and I'm not going to say who it is, but on Friday up in the North County, and it made my week. I mean, honestly, they were talking about how they've got locations throughout the region, and Chautauqua County outperforms every other location by far. And they said there's a couple things. One is the workforce. They said you guys here have an incredible workforce. They said something like they have 3% turnover in their workforce in Chautauqua County, which is unheard of. And they're looking to make major investments here, more to come. Okay. And the other thing is sort of success breeds success. When they see all these investments going on at Wells and at Cummins, and they see the White Inn, they see, Electronically and all these things, they see cranes in the air, they see piles of dirt. That's signifying to everyone outside of this region there's stuff going on in this county. So I felt really, really good about that. It's one thing for me to say, it's another to hear somebody else from outside coming in and telling us that. So more to come on that. And two more things real quick. Jason, can you just give us a quick update on Live and Choose CHQ?
Sure. As the board knows, we did our rebranding in the spring of 2024 for Choose CHQ and Live CHQ. Live CHQ is our talent attraction and retention campaign. Choose CHQ obviously promoting what the county is doing when it comes to economic development through all of our agencies. We've had over 185,000 views on our Choose CHQ platform since we launched that website in the spring of 2024 from over 100,000 unique visitors, 114,000 to be exact for just across the board, including Live CHQ. But when you drill down to Live CHQ, we've had about 75,000 unique visits to the Live CHQ website from probably 90% of that, or just about 90% of that is from outside of Chautauqua County. So that means the vast majority of the 75,000 unique visitors that come to our website for Live CHQ are coming to learn about living in Chautauqua County, or at least have seen the advertisements and marketing we've done and have shown some kind of an interest in clicking on that link and going to the website and sticking around for approximately 35 seconds on average. Some people stick around longer, some people bounce out earlier, but it's about a 35-second average visit rate for that. So that's exciting to see. All time over 110,000 views on Live CHQ. A lot of those are just people bouncing from one page to the other, but I think that kind of indicates that our marketing efforts are moving in the right direction in terms of getting out in front of new eyeballs. I just pulled up my computer screensaver came on, but from what I saw looking at the stats I was looking at, we've had 80 different communities outside of Chautauqua County visit Live CHQ with 100 unique people or more. A lot of those are large metropolitan areas like Chicago, Philadelphia, New York City, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. So we're doing this regional approach for Live CHQ and encouraging people to get interested in living in and working in Chautauqua County. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding if we see a large interest in relocation here, new people moving in. But I think it is doing enough to at least put Chautauqua County on the radar more than what we've done in the past before this campaign was initiated. For Choose CHQ, we did start marketing our shovel-ready sites. We're making Chautauqua County shovel-ready in 2025. By the summer of 2026, we will have Chautauqua County is shovel-ready for the most part, right, Mark? So we've already started doing a little bit of teaser campaigns in regional publications, a newsletter for Buffalo Business First and Pittsburgh Business First for a week. Yielded a lot of visits to our properties page, which is where you can learn about the shovel-ready sites on the Choose CHQ platform. And then we also just launched an editorial that'll be in Buffalo Business First for the month of September. And we are doing some digital marketing in Cleveland Business First throughout the month of August. And I'll get some statistics for that to determine how successful that's been at the end of this month. And then finally, just going back to Live CHQ, we've been marketing that all over the place, social media, on billboards along the interstate, local advertising, regional advertising, you name it. But we also now have partnered with PBS vehicle called Viewpoint with Dennis Quaid. You may have seen the city of Jamestown talking about this. They actually approached us last fall and we signed a contract to work with them. But we really wanted to wait until the weather broke. So they didn't come and film anything in Chautauqua County until June of this year. But they have finished the production of the video. It looks great. It's about a 5-minute long mini documentary about all the reasons why people want to work in Chautauqua County or do business in Chautauqua County or live in Chautauqua County. And we hope to see that launched and put out there in September or October. They're going to give me a final distribution schedule. But basically, this vehicle will be distributed to PBS stations across the United States, and we can also leverage it for our own internal marketing if we want on our websites and our platform. So exciting stuff there, and we'll probably do a major announcement in the media with a press release once we know that distribution schedule. But the production end is now complete. It looks great. Anybody that wants to see it, I'll share a link with you. Just send me an email, and you can check it out yourself.
Great work.
That's all I have.
Great work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Wanted Shelby to give a quick sort of update on our CRM grants management efforts.
So as you know, we did move forward with CivicServe for a CRM solution. And we are nearing the end of kind of the implementation phase where they're getting all of our historical information, everything loaded into the system, where we can start kind of working on the public portal side. So we can have our clients go in, create accounts and get set up so that they're comfortable with the platform before the end of the year. We're hoping that most of our clients can utilize the system to provide annual compliance reporting stuff through the system rather than just using email like we had previously. So hopefully that'll go live probably within the next few weeks. We are also, now that we kind of have done the legwork for the CRM solution, we're also kind of looking at financial solutions that can help us better manage our grants. So that's kind of where we are now. We're getting some demos scheduled with a couple different platforms. We had one last week that was phenomenal. So hopefully that'll kind of come into play financially, that it's not $1 million for us to move forward with that one because it was pretty. So we'll see how that goes. I would expect that to probably come in front of the board. I would say probably October. I don't know if September would be close enough or enough time to put that in front of you for September. What else? I think that's really it from a CRM perspective. So good things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, we're just trying to get more efficient and
Yes.
and just, you know, sharing, you know, emails and spreadsheets and all that. It really, we need a better way of sort of coordinating all that, being able to share information, keep it in the right place, you know, that tie in with the clients and all that. So,
Yep.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yes, and one thing that we really liked about CivicServe was the open API. So that is one thing that we're kind of keeping in our back pockets when we're getting all of these demos from a financial solution, is something that can also speak back and forth to CivicServe. So we can always look at, you know, Mark can be on the road, he can look at a loan balance because it'll feed directly to the financial solution as well. So.
Good job. Any questions? Out there.
Thank you. A lot going on as always. We appreciate the update. Next, we'll move into the treasurer's report.
Sure. So like previous months, there's really not a lot out of the ordinary. For the IDA, I'll give everybody a minute to get there. So from an IDA perspective for the P&L, we're pretty close, I believe, to budget. We have some timing variances, again, with some closing of solar projects and stuff like that, that we knew we're gonna close eventually in 2025, and we kind of, my term, peanut butter spread it across the months. So there's some timing there with recognizing revenue. Same thing with on the expense side and revenue side, where we have deferred revenue sitting on the balance sheet. If we don't have the expense booked yet, we're not going to book the revenue. So again, there's some timing variances there. Overall, though, really kind of nothing surprising or nothing out of the ordinary on the P&L. From a balance sheet perspective, again, we're comfortable from a cash perspective, but you have to look at kind of offsetting the deferred revenue and kind of some bookmarked expenses there. So, outside of that, I mean, nothing really high on liabilities or anything like that. Really just business as normal. And then again, on the variance to budget perspective, a lot of it is timing, and we're pretty close to what we were expecting. Really it.
Any questions on the treasurer's report? I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Take a
It's Tom.
Yeah, it's like perfect time.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The treasurer's report has been accepted. At this point, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the financial or credit history of a particular person or corporation. In particular, I would like to discuss the status of our loan portfolio and the financial and credit status of some of our borrowers. Do I hear such a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, opposite. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll go into executive session.
For the witness, though.
You can, oh, thanks.
You can pass it down, those are the letters of support.
100%. Yeah, it's a
We are back in open session. I would like to report that there were no actions or votes taken during executive session and therefore no minutes of the meeting were taken. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Hearing none, we'll consider the meeting adjourned. Our next IDA board meeting will be September the 23rd, 2025 at 10:30, and we'll be meeting at the Center for Innovation and Economic Development, Central Avenue, Dunkirk, New York. So just remind everybody, it'll be in Dunkirk.